racism is wrong. So anti-racism must be right, right? This is Plain Jane coming at you from my living room in rural Virginia. And I would like you to like, share, and subscribe before you listen to my video. It doesn't have to be sincere. Now, I don't mind the universities coming up with radical theories and even unworkable ones, because that's what they do in the ivory tower. That's who they are. But before we let them shove all of those, or let's say some of those theories down the throats of regular people in the public schools and the corporations, we need to ask if they're telling the truth. Now, why have people bought into Ibram X. Kendi's How to Be an Anti-Racist to such an extent? Well, I can only speculate, but they want to do the right thing. Anti-racism must be right, right? It's like saying Black Lives Matter. Some of them, maybe a lot of them, lack the experience of mingling freely without self-consciousness with groups of other race or individuals, having close friends of other races. So they believe the professor, and who I believe also may lack that experience. I get that impression from reading the book. Or they say that a book like this, at least it's bringing attention to racism, which is a real problem. Dr. Kendi says that this is another reason here, that we are either racist or anti-racist. So much for minding your own business and being a not racist. Anyway, who wants to be called a racist? Anybody? I don't see any hands up, not even back there in the back row. Now, authors usually hammer their point home into the last paragraph. So here is the ending of How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. And I want you to ask yourself, is it accurate? Does it jive with your experience and what you know already about the world? But racism is one of the fastest spreading and most fatal cancers humanity has ever known. It's hard to find a place where its cancer cells are not dividing and multiplying. It's getting steadily worse. Really? After slavery, and then the period after slavery that included a lot of racial terrorism, lynching, second-class citizenship, lack of respect, and then legal equality. I'm not saying things became perfect, but legal equality occurred 55 years ago. So it's steadily getting worse since then. I know Kendi had cancer when he wrote this, but is it getting worse and spreading quickly like a cancer? Are we going to disrespect Harriet Tubman and the people who fought and died for what we have today that they didn't have by exaggerating the conditions of today? All right. To continue, there is nothing I see in our world today, in our history, giving me hope that one day anti-racists will win the fight, that one day the flag of anti-racism will fly over a world of equity. Imagine. Now, okay. What could be wrong with that? He doesn't mean what we think he means. They've changed a lot of definitions and we buy in without knowing the new definition. His definitions according to his definition, you're either a racist or an anti-racist. An anti-racist actively promotes equity, not equality. To be anti-racist, you promote equity. Okay, sounds good, but he does not mean equality. These are the running definitions in academia today. And his definitions. All right. If the population is 13.4% Black, and it's close to that, then workplaces and institutions should be 13.4% Black at all levels. I wonder if that includes a place like Vermont that doesn't have very many Black people, or if it's a local definition or a state definition, or is it the national definition? Hey, who knows? I want to go up and pull his sleeve and say, Miss Dr. Kendi, sir, should the NBA be only 13.4% Black? Doesn't height come into playing basketball and athletic ability and willingness to work hard? Don't those things mean anything? What about cultural differences? Should they be erased, or should we respect them? The people from different cultures might make different choices in what they pursue. What if more Asians want to be in the orchestra? Do you really think we need a cabinet level person to enforce all of this right down to the local level? Gee, I wonder what could go wrong with that. All right, I'm going to read the rest. What gives me hope is a simple truism. Once we lose hope, we are guaranteed to lose. But if we ignore the odds and fight to create an anti-racist world, then we give humanity a chance to one day survive, a chance to live in communion, a chance to be forever free. He promises survival, communion, and freedom. Now, I have questions, as I always do. How can we live in communion while self-consciously following a list of rules that someone else made that change? And change according to who you're talking to. The anti-racist regime enforces a particular vision that brings bondage, not freedom. It's totalitarian. Everybody has to get with the same plan. On the other hand, Jesus' commandments apply to everyone at any time. Love your neighbor and your enemy. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. Forgive those who wrong you. And I might add, forgive the descendants of those who wronged your ancestors. Remember that they didn't do anything. The descendants didn't do anything. And you're not the one they did it to. Ibram X. Kendi's anti-racism sounds great, but don't be deceived. No, no, no. When it comes to a theater or a school system near you, and it will, if it hasn't already, just say no way.